the when you talk about the word true in propositional logic, that means you're referring to a made up word. It's undefined. It has no meaning. You could replace it with any other word you want because you're in an abstract model and it's fucking made up. When you talk about something being true in the real world, that has a requirement of evidence. For you to just declare statements are true about the real world and not provide any justification is silly. We don't do that with statements in the real world. So we don't say, well, it's impossible categorically through proofs or syllogisms that cats can't fuck and produce humans. We say no, based on the evidence of how the fucking world works and the shitload of it, cats can't make humans, right?
Right. I agree with you on this, actually.
Yeah.
But the issue that I'm trying to get to is when you talk about the validity of something like logic, well, all of a sudden you can't use propositions or evidence. You have to, I mean, logic has to be true in something that isn't a human mind, or else how is it interlocked between all human minds?
What do you mean?
This is sort of,
It's one, it's not. Human beings constantly argue about what is true about the real world. And therefore, it's only a word that represents a level of confidence. It doesn't have anything to do, like, there's no such thing as 100% true statements about the real world or guaranteed true statements about, these are just nonsensical. They don't
It's a
exist.
proposition that there are no 100% truths about the real world, a true statement.
That appears to be the case based on the evidence I have available to me. Yes.
Yeah,
I mean, I think you're right.
So is it or is it not a true statement?
Again, based on the
Well,
evidence I have available to me, that appears to be a true statement based on the
Appears.
evidence available to me.
So you can't say for sure it's not definitive.
No one can make any statements, quote unquote, for sure about the real world. That's a silly
Is
thing.
that proposition a true statement?
Again, based on the evidence available to me, yes, that appears to be how the world works.
Yeah, I mean, you say appears, which is a qualification. I'm asking you, is it definitive or not?
You're trying to make it out like I am making absolute propositional statements, and I'm not. I'm making statements about the real world, which are
Well,
necessarily based on evidence. And if you, we're not going to go
well,
anywhere unless you
it
acknowledge
appears to
that
me
evidence is
that you made a
required.
universal claim.
True statements
What the issue
require
here is that
evidence. True
What the issue here is that it seems you made a universal
I
claim
did not.
while
I did not. I
simultaneously
did not. I
precluding the
literally
existence.
did not.
Oh,
And you know
so
that.
you do believe.
You know
So
that
you
I
do believe
said
it's
it's based
possible.
on evidence,
Yeah.
and
Can I
yet
ask
you're
this
trying
question?
to
Can I ask
change
this
the
question, please?
statement.
So
can God
do
make
you
a true
believe it's
statement?
possible? Do you believe it's possible to make 100% true statements?
No, he doesn't.
In an abstract world, sure, I can make up
No,
shit and
I
call
didn't
it
ask you
true.
about abstraction. I'm asking you about definition. Do
About
you
the
believe that
real
is possible,
world,
logically
about
possible?
the real world, whatever
Yes.
you mean by
Yes.
100% true, we wouldn't be able to say.
Yeah,
There's no
yeah. So
such thing.
that's a universal statement, right? So you need to justify that
Based on
universally.
evidence. Based on evidence, it's not a universal
Is
statement. I
evidence
could be
universal?
wrong.
Okay, thank you. So it is possible to make 100% true statements. You've
It's
refuted yourself.
possible. I mean, sure.
Yeah, by
It's
definition.
possible to
You said
make
sure.
100% true statements. You're right. My bad.
Yeah, by your own definition.
Yeah, you'll just never know it, never be able to demonstrate it, never be
Yeah,
able
okay,
to
that's
say
another
anything
universal
about it.
claim.
It's just a
That's
possibility.
another
You know
universal
what?
claim.
This universe could have possibly been made by the farts of a unicorn. That's possible,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what in your worldview precludes that?
Precludes what?
Precludes the possibility that the universe was made by unicorns.
In my worldview, evidence. There's no evidence that unicorns exist.
Yeah.
There is evidence that unicorns were invented by human beings as a
Is the
fictitious
evidence universal?
abstraction, right?
Is the evidence universal?
What do you mean? People debate about the evidence.
I'm asking you about whether we can affirm or deny a universal claim, and you're saying we can do this
I
based on
don't know what
evidence.
you
If
mean
that's
by
the case,
universal. So why don't we start with
yeah.
that?
So
What do you
what
mean
I
by
mean,
universal?
yeah. So when I say universal, I'm
Mhm.
referring to a property or a reference that
Give me
applies
an
to everything
example.
within a given
Give
set.
me an example of a
All batch,
universal.
all bachelors are unmarried, right? That's a universal statement.
That's from propositional logic.
Yeah, yeah, it's a universal.
No, it follows from axioms.
What are you talking about?
You have propositional logic, you have axioms of
Yeah,
propositional
yeah.
logic, you have an interpretation,
What do you believe
you have
propositional
an
logic is?
interpretation of the symbols. You then state this sentence follows
Yeah,
these
yeah. So
particular
could you define
symbols.
propositional logic for me, please?
This sentence follows these particular symbols in this
I
particular
mean,
order. I therefore
again, you're doing a lot
declare
of
that this
talking, but
statement
not a
is.
lot of clarification. Could you define what you
I
mean by
therefore
propositional logic so we're on the
I
same page?
therefore declare this statement is true. Yes, and that word "true" in
Yeah,
propositional logic is made
I think
up.
there's an
It's
issue here. I think you're not
undefined.
familiar with
Yes.
propositional logic. Propositional logic isn't as subjective, isn't a necessarily subjective or abstract or inchoate reference. It's just a form of argumentation.
You're
That's the
just
basis for
ignorant on
argument,
this. Here's the
right?
real world. Here's the real world.
Or let me give you an example
Here's
of a use of
abstract.
propositional
Here's
logic.
abstract.
I can
Right?
make a modus ponens argument and say
Here's the real
that
world. Here's
if knowledge
abstract
is real,
modeling.
God is
Real
real.
world, abstract
Knowledge is
modeling.
real, therefore
So
God
in
is
the
real.
real
Right?
world,
Like that is an example.
when we make a sentence like 1 + 1
Yeah,
equals two,
again,
right?
I don't think you're tracking.
This
So if
sentence
you're not
is
able to
based
track
on
what logic is,
evidence.
then I don't think we're
Evidence,
able to have a
right?
discussion. Like
Yes, this is based on
this is step
evidence.
one. Like you have to
Evidence.
get this
When we
before you can
go
move on to
over
anything else.
into the
So
abstract
I would
world,
just suggest searching up what
we're
propositional logic
going to
is,
make
and
up
then once you've done
stuff.
that, maybe we can have a
Stuff
discussion
here
another time.
is made up. So like propositional logic. And so in
In fact,
propositional logic, right? What do you
I will
do?
assist your research by putting
You
the
define
definition
a
of
bunch of
propositional logic in the chat.
symbols, right? You define what is called a language. Language. So what do? You come up with some symbols like this, right? P's and Q's and R's. This is made up. We can make them up however we want. You got to do some grammar, right? Why do we have to do some grammar? Because you have to be able to tell the person what is considered a good sentence. This one is good. Good job. That's a correct sentence. This would make no sense. That makes no sense. What does that mean? That's bad. That's not grammatical. So you have to have some grammar so that we're on the same page. This is all entirely made up, right? We then come up with some definitions. Like, for example, we will say
a good
true,
boy is someone who
right?
finishes their chicken tenders.
So
That is true.
true is
Yeah,
any
Bobby,
axiom,
could you
any
reconcile
axiom,
like everything you just
any
said in the last
axiom,
minute with the Stanford definition
any
of propositional logic
axiom,
up in the chat, please?
any axiom,
I mean again,
or
like
derivation,
in the most respectful way possible. I don't think you know what you're talking about, like whatsoever.
of an axiom,
Please refer
of
to the Stanford
axioms,
article
right?
up in the chat on what propositional logic
So
is. It has nothing to do with subjective
we then
references.
need to
Like
define
that's
some
not
more
what we're
terms,
talking
such
about.
as a theorem, right? And we could come up with different
Yeah,
definitions, but this would typically just be
Definition
any
for Chico,
statement,
someone with an obnoxious Tarantino
the
yeah.
PFP.
I
statement
mean, apart from that, I'll
that
leave you
is
with the Stanford
true,
article, and you can read down your own time.
true in the system,
Maybe once you've done that, we can circle
in
back
the
and have this
system.
discussion later.
I
But
know you're
until
getting
then, there's not
roasted
much
because you
further we can
don't
do.
know any of this shit,
So,
right?
you have a good day, though.
So we also have words like consistency. Thank God. Fuck off, dude.
I don't see chicken tendies up there. I said to define good boy is someone who eats their chicken tendies, but I don't see that on the board.
Sure. Yeah. No, these morons, they pretend like they actually know something about logic, and then you start explaining it to them and they're like, I got to dip. Because they're like, all of a sudden it becomes blatantly clear this word is made up, these are made up, these ones refer to things based on evidence. He wants to somehow argue that you can make statements about the real world and they don't require evidence. Fuck off. He's an idiot. That's obviously not how that works.
Yeah, that was so funny. It was just like given an opinion, a personal one. No evidence.
I know, yeah. That's why I call out this distinction when they're doing that, is because when you say a statement about the real world, that has to be justified with evidence. If you want to make up that things are true, then you're over here in the world where who gives a shit.